Welcome to another one of our exploration videos. I'm Mike Ricksecker from Haunted Road Media. Explore with us. Today we are out here at the Gore Orphanage Swift Mansion area. People know it as the Gore Orphanage, which it never was. That's because of all the legends and rumor and urban tales and what have you. This was actually the Swift Mansion. Let's tour the area. Now, the deal with this house, it was built in the mid-1800s by the Swifts. The family that's probably more associated with it than the Swifts is the Wilburs, who had 4 grandchildren that died of diphtheria. That's the really sad tale about this location. So the thing about the Wilbur family is that they were known in the area as spiritualists. So after the grandchildren died of diphtheria, it's been said that they were conducting seances here within the house in order to try to contact the children. The children all died within a couple of days of each other. So after the Wilburs left, it was abandoned. It was part of the Orphanage of Light and Hope. It was on that property, but they didn't actually use the house. The kids would come down the hill and then farm the land over here. The reason why the orphanage wanted this spot, this land, was for the land over there to farm, not for the actual building itself. So they didn't actually use this. It just sat here and rotted. Some fantastic historic photos of the mansion. So the kids would come up and down the hill to farm the land. There were 2 dormitories up there, girls and a boys, that were separate from each other, which is where the word orphanage comes from. The word gore comes from their correction on a map. It's actually it's like a triangular piece of land to make a map correction. That's what a gore is. So it has nothing to do with Old Man Gore. There was no Old Man Gore. So now the orphanage itself had a lot of bad history with it. There was stories of abuse. There were criminal trials that went on and all that. So that eventually ended. So a lot of that stuff is actually true. So let's give you the tour. Right now you're sitting, well, those were the stairs to the house. I mean, I walked you straight down here, but let's kind of go back through here. So this would have been the main entrance to the house. You can actually see, if I get this low enough, and it's a little different with 360. Okay, if you can, oh, I'm messing up. This here is one of the front steps to the house. This is a little challenging because, okay, with this particular 360 setup, you get 240 over the top. And you don't see what's below you at your feet. And I usually say, well, you don't need to see what's at your feet. But in this particular case, you kind of do. So, I set up here, you can see the front blocks to the house. Okay. This was the main stairs here that went down. And I don't know if maybe turning the camera, maybe that'll give you a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. This is interesting 360 territory here, looking at ruins. But there you go. And so what I'll do is I'll come around this way, and yes, the shit's always falling out of the trees here. And I'll come around this way, low level. This would have been one of the front rooms of the house here. It was a pretty large house. And it goes all the way around here. You can still see more blocks back in here. And the paths through here that people have kind of walked, they aren't really where the house was. It kind of intermingles within everything. This large tree right here is in the middle of one of the front rooms of the house. So that's how long this place has been down. Almost 100 years. It burned down in 1923. And the papers actually said haunted house burns down. Again, there were no children that were in the house. They believe that story was transferred from the Collinwood fire. It was a school fire where a lot of children actually perished and died. So, oh, I'm about to walk into a spider web. Let's not do that. Around this way. And I know you're just seeing through the foliage, but really, there's a crap ton of rooms. You can come over here and see brick. I'm going to flip it over again. Maybe you can see it better if I do this. You know, if you come up over here, you know, you can see the stones. Now this here, all right, let me set you up. Set you up right here. I don't know how well you see this. So down there is into the house. I mean, it's a whole basement area, of course. Back here, this was the rear part of the house. So you had the back. Essentially, it was a patio. Went there. Can't really walk into there right now because of all that foliage that's grown up. During the winter time, we were able to walk back into there because it had died off. So this was the back part of the house. The servants' quarters and all that were back in here. And again, I'm going to flip it because I really don't, with all this being on the ground, it's a bit more difficult. You know what? Maybe I'll just hang it up from here. Just bang in there. We'll do it upside down for a little bit, see if this works. Okay. Because we've talked before about wanting to do hang stuff from the ceiling. So there's the main part of the house there. So kitchen was in the back here, the front rooms of the house, the stairs leading down are right there. I don't know if that branch has kind of in the way. I'll walk through here a little bit on the edge. We see where the front stairs were in all the main part of the house here. So there were bedrooms off to the side over here. There were some rooms back off over there. And then this part here, you had some bedrooms here, and then this went all the way back. I mean, I'm pointing this way, but you can see the outlying stones here. There was there were some servants' quarters and stuff like that back there. And somebody banging in the background. So let me do this. I'll just hold this overhead. I know it's a little different. Let's see how far this keeps going back. This is where the servants' quarters kept going. See, it's still all in here. So it was set up like an L. And in this, I refuse to walk under. I'm gonna flip it back over here. I refuse to walk under that. Last time I was here, something was trying to lure me back under that. So let's try this again. I think this works out pretty well. So we'll just have to let you know in the video when to flip it. So let's walk back down into here. And we'll come up one of the other sides. One of the problems during the wintertime, though, is this gets filled up with water. So this is the, I guess, north wall of the house. This is only our, well, third 360 video, and it's in a very, very different environment than our other two. So yes, as I traverse up this stuff. But here's another, more walls of the house. Oh, check it out. There's a big old frog. Let me flip it over. You see him down there? Alright. So there's snakes in here too, by the way. Back out at the front. This is front porch where the photograph of the family was taken, which we believe is the Wilbur family. Now, there's all this trees, crap that's all around. We're going to go around the front of the house. Now, there's a couple of pillars, a couple of columns. Well, one that exists today down here. Something that we've discovered along the way that I haven't seen or heard anybody make a reference to. And you can see people have spray painted on it, kids doing stupid shit. All of that, unfortunately. So that's on the corner of the property. Now, if you look at old photographs, there's more than one. There's a few of them. But that's one. We found the other one. It's harder to see these days. We found it during the winter. Pro nature, but when it starts taking over stuff something historic that we've built, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, boom, there it is. More spider webs. Okay, so I'm just going to flip the camera here. I'm not going to walk back in there. So there you go. There's the pillar. Okay. And you can see there's another frog right there. The frogs are all out today. That's where the base of one of the pillars is. One of the columns, one of the pillars, whatever you want to call it. It's one thing for the kids to come along and do something like this. The top is knocked off, stuff has been etched into it, it's been spray painted on, all of that. But to make off with the pillar, it's like it can't be buried, because that could happen over hundreds or thousands of years for the thing to get buried. But you can still see the base of it there. So it's not going to be buried. But it's not there. Where the hell is it? As we're doing that, I'm going to put this down. Can you see them? There's a row of stones that are part of a fence. I'm going to tilt the camera a little bit. There's one right there at the base of that tree. And if you look straight back, you can see two right out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera here, and then I'm going to rotate it a little bit so you can see it. It's one off to the right and then one straight ahead. So these go, and I'm going to try to keep myself low, which is really awkward. There's another here. I'm going to tilt the camera again. There you go. There's mosquitoes too. I haven't seen down there. You see that? I don't want to walk too far down here, especially being low. Here, there's another base to another pillar. See, there's the house now. So side of the house. Now we have a photograph of the from that side of the house, from the field, where you can see one of those pillars, one of those columns. You see the side of the house. You see a little shack, which I believe is the well house. Because right here, I'm going to put you down inside of it, is the well. Yes, I'm going to take this expensive camera and stick it right into the well. So there you go. And you can go ahead and spin around and check that out. That's the old well. Of course, if the bottom were to cave in right now and I lost the camera, I'd be really pissed off. But I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. So that's really the tour of the house and the ruins. But there's a bit more. We're not quite done with our exploration. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go up the hill, which is the path that the children would have taken, to go up to the dormitories, the main farm area, and all that up there. But that's pretty much it for the ruins down here. We're going to go out, I think we're going to go out the side because we haven't done too much going over there with the 360. And we've gone up and down the front staircase a few times here. Most of it is just gone. You know, I could set you right down in here, and what do you see? You're essentially sitting right in the middle of a bedroom. Seriously, you're in the middle of a bedroom. But we're going to go out the side over here. All these big trees over here, that's still part of the house. We have felt some things here. I mean, people say like this is, one of the most haunted locations in Ohio, and it's really not. I mean, there might be a mild haunting back here. There's, felt like people were watching us. I remember the one time I was out here, last time on my own, sounded like somebody walking through the woods, and there was, of course, nobody. Like I said, I felt like I was being lured back by those trees. But that's really about it. People say that they've seen or heard the children here. Shauna and I have not experienced that yet. It's just really a sense sometimes that somebody's watching you, and right now I actually don't get that feeling. This is Gore Orphanage Road. And it's split in half, basically. What happened was up here, and we're going to walk through it, is they cut off the road. I believe, I haven't confirmed this, but it makes total sense. I believe they could no longer maintain it, and so they blocked it off. Basically what's happening, and you'll see it when we get up there, is that the river is eating away at the side of the hill, and in some parts, half or more of the road is gone. It's eroded down the hill. So when Shauna and I first went up there, and we'll get that video out because there's quite a few things in that video. You'll see it there too. So I'm going to take you up there though with the 360. So that's the ranger's house down there. Looks like he's the one banging around. And because I'm holding the camera, I'm going to walk around this. Normally I would just walk over the top. Like I did last time. Actually, going back down, I walked around it. Alright, yeah. Right around here somewhere that Shauna got buzzed. She said it felt like a vibrator was shoved into her ear. If you can imagine that sort of thing. So, here we are. You know, at Helltown they talk about the end of the world. This is actually kind of more like it. I'm going to flip it over. As you can see, the road is falling off. Straight down is the river, and there's all this erosion taking out the road. That's a cliff. You know, you look over, I'm not going to get too close, but you can see the guardrail down there. And this is crazy. Yeah, way down there, that's the guardrail. So, I mean, this is less than half the road that's left here that I'm walking on. It gets to a point up here where there is no more road. Wait, out there, guardrail hanging. I mean, you can see it hanging in the air. That's crazy. You see it? It's hanging in the air. So we'll be careful walking around here. It's not too steep here, but still there's zero road. There we go. Flip it back over. Oh, okay, there's some animal back in there. I just heard it. Be careful, there's the power lines up in here. I mean, you can almost reach out and touch them, which of course is very dangerous. I do want to be careful up here. What I've heard, no idea what that was. Heard is that, what in the hell? That was directly behind me. But I've heard that the homeowner here is a little cranky. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I've heard. So I'm just gonna be quick about being up here. So the house sits on the former location of the boys' dormitory. What's important to note here, if you can see them straight back over there, there's your two columns, your two pillars that are missing from down there by the old house site. And the road continues on that way, connecting with the rest of Gore Orphanage Road. And so back there are the fields and farms that the kids maintained. The girls' dormitory was a little further down that way to the left in a new housing development. So neither of the original structures are here. Alright, well that is going to do it for this exploration video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done so yet, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And remember, explore with us.